Hey there, gang. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is just around the corner, and that is a sentence that we get to say in Magic the Gathering now. But before we wrap up Lorwyn Eclipsed Standard, we have one more mission, and I can't wait to show you what it is. Let's play some head games. Welcome, friends and opponents, to Head Games Arena. My name is Jet, and to wrap up Lorwyn Eclipsed Standard, I wanted to play a janky brew built around one of the coolest cards in Lorwyn Eclipsed, and by that, of course, I mean we are playing Temur Mirrorform. Temur, for the uninitiated, is the combination of green, red, and blue, and we are built around this card, Mirrorform. 6 mana instant. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent. So the idea here is we want to put as many non-land permanents into play as we can early in the game. Then we kind of want to cheat in an expensive permanent so that we can turn all those lower cost permanents into the big thing and then hopefully win the game by doing that. It is also true that Mirrorform can copy our opponent's permanents, but we can't really count on that. It can be very funny, but there's not always something very interesting for us to hit on their board, especially if we're playing against control. They just don't have a lot of permanents to begin with. So we're setting ourselves up to win here, and that's the way that this deck is built. So we're going to start by ramping. That's what the green is here for. Llanowar Elf down here in the 1-drop spot, our old friend Badger Mole Cub and Leyline Weaver as additional ramp pieces. Leyline doing the extra duty of untapping when you cast a spell of 4 or greater. Plenty of those in the deck. In the 3-drop spot, we've got Noggle Robber. You may not have seen this card. It's a 3-mana 3/3. When it enters or dies, create a treasure token. So the idea here is it's really just trying to put extra non-land permanents on the board. The fact that they're treasures means we can kind of get out of some mana short situations a little bit easier, but the whole point of this is to get extra permanents on board. That's really what it's here for. In the interaction, we've got Unable to Scream, which is an enchantment aura itself, so it can kind of shut down your opponent's most annoying creature early in the game, but then turn it into something later on, turn the Unable to Scream into something with the Mirrorform later on. 2 copies of Detect Intrusion, which just targets an instant sorcery or a triggered ability, so this can stop the Bringer of the Last Gift combo from coming back. This can stop a couple of different instants and sorceries like board wipes, so it really does, having a couple of these in the deck, especially when we don't even mind using the Enweb ability and bouncing one of our creatures back that's tapped. Oftentimes we can pay this for 1, even for 2, it's a good rate. And then 2 copies of Ill-Timed Explosion as our own board wipe to kind of, keep our opponent's aggro decks, if they're creature based, from running us over, but also just as a card draw option if we don't need to do that. So we're trying to win by using our old friends, the Overlords from Duskborn. So the red Overlord is a 5/5 that when it enters or attacks does 4 damage to any target. So you can append it for 4, and then it sits on the side of your battlefield, not being able to be removed by creature removal until it's time to Mirrorform it and turn all of your permanents, non-land permanents, into Overlord of the Boilerbilges, and then you just attack, do a bunch of triggers, and the game is over. Overlord of the Hauntwoods, really just as good. It's a ramp piece for 3, gets you an extra land, and then sits there on the side of the battlefield so you can cast Mirrorform on it and turn everything into Overlords. Now you're attacking with a bunch of 6/5s. You get the idea. Same deal with Overlord of the Flood Pits, the blue one. It's a 5/3 flyer, and if everything becomes a 5/3 flyer, the game's probably over. We're also rocking 2 copies of Quantum Riddler here as a 4/6 flyer. Warps in for 2, but then it goes into the exile. You can cast it again later. Not really sure if this is better than the blue Overlord. I've had games where the Quantum Riddler did some amazing things, and turning everything into a Quantum Riddler really is remarkable, especially if you've only got 1 card in your hand when you do it. Watch what happens if you ever see that happen. But you could play with Quantum Riddler or more Overlords. Hard to say which one. So as you can see, this is a very mythic heavy deck. I wouldn't recommend anybody burning their cards on it at this point because it's not competitive. I just wanted to do something really fun with Mirrorform before we wrap up this season and invite the Ninja Turtles into our game, which I'm sure everyone is really, really excited about. Before we head over into the gameplay, I'd like to invite everybody to please like, subscribe, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you'd like to see in TMNT Standard. What cards are you excited about to build around? I am looking forward to brewing new decks with the new cards next week. So thank you as always for tuning in. Let's play some head games. Game 1, Temur Mirrorform. A warning to all my friends and opponents here. This deck is extraordinarily janky. And there's a very low likelihood that I walk away with a winning record today, but I really want to play something weird before we wrap up the season. So let's just be brave with more than 1 land in our hand. Perfect. Keeping this. We're here to find out Is the old 1-2 punch of Llanowar Elves and Overlord of the Overlord of the Hauntwoods good enough? Nope, not against red. You got it. Interesting. Okay. Let's get this Willow Rush Verge down, and we will, in fact, warp a Quantum Riddler because we don't have anything else to do this turn. Okay. White-red. Okay. That feels okay because now we're going to do something you can't probably interact with. You might have Get Lost in the deck, but Get Lost is very, very bad against us. 4 damage to us. Our opponent missed a land drop. We love that. We're going to play Noggle Robber. They're going to throw another spell at our head. Lightning Helix for our opponent. Noggle Robber. Leyline Weaver. Steam Vents tapped. Okay. Listen, we need to put some damage up very, very soon. They're probably gonna take out the Weaver, which I'm fine with. Yep. Are you also gonna take out the Noggle Robber? Double Plasma Bolt for our opponent. Mirrorform on board. Did they just Plasma Bolt something and it didn't work? Or did they Plasma Bolt our face? We'll play this tapped on blue and get in for 3. Okay, so we can win. Okay. I don't think they can do us 6 damage with 2 spells. If they draw a land, maybe. Can I don't think I can actually just win here. So if I Mirrorform the Overlord, I get 3 things. That's only 18 damage. Okay, we're going to put the red Overlord in. Do 4 damage to the blocker and get in for 7. We fade 1 turn and we win. If they have enough to beat us, they have enough to beat us. They play a land and do 6 to our dome. It was meant to be. Do you have it? Can you count to 20? Are they slow rolling us in the last 6 damage? Come on. Double Bolt Wave? Are you seriously slow rolling the last 6 damage? Come on. Wow. 1 life. That's why they were taking it slow. Game 2, Temur Mirrorform. Temurform. I'm still workshopping it. Okay, Badger Mole on 2. I need to draw some lands. Detect Intrusion. We've got the blue Overlord if we get another land. Let's try it. It's a little risky, I'm not going to lie. If I don't draw a land, I'm going to be very sad. White-red tap land for our opponent. We are really in for it here. So Botanical Sanctum gets this. Badger Mole gets hit. If Badger Mole doesn't get hit, okay. So now we're still in trouble because they're going to counter whatever we cast. So let's play the Noggle Robber and let them counter that. Yep. Okay, we are in trouble. against a control deck. This deck almost never wins against control. Not gonna lie. Like, it is impossible for us to beat control. Okay, we've got a third land here, so we are doing something. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Make a everywhere token. Our opponent does not miss their land drop. Get Lost is very bad against us. Rest in Peace removes our graveyard, and we could not care less. How does Web work? You may pay blue if you also return a tapped creature you control to its hand. Okay, so do we want to Ill-Timed Explosion here, or do we want to Overlord of the Flood Pits? I think I'm gonna Overlord of the Flood Pits, and we're gonna use this for blue. And this for blue. Draw, draw. Good grief. I cannot believe that we did not draw a land. Oh my goodness! Draw a land. Land, please. Now they know what we're doing, and I didn't draw a land. Noggle Robber. Make a token. Attack for 2. Pass the turn. No, it's not right. They get both cards. They get 2 cards, right? They can have it. I don't want them to see the Detect Intrusion yet. See, the only way I can beat control is by getting more mana than them, so that I can stop them from removing my board, while also... Thank you. Land, please. Good grief. Another Badger Mole? Okay, word to the wise. Don't ever Earthbend the Everywhere token. I've made this mistake a number of times because I'm like, oh, I want my best land to get this, right? You don't. It doesn't need to be your best land. 3 steps ahead. So, do I counter that? I think the answer is yes. I'm gonna hit the Stomping Ground, which was already tapped. That's okay. Attack for 5. Pass the turn. Oh, Lord have mercy. Detect Intrusion. We'll pay the blue. We will return Noggle Robber to our hand and counter that Jeskai Revelation. Oh, that's enough! They're so sad! I never beat control. Not with this deck. Game 3. Temur form. Temur Mirrorform. Look at all those. This is a terrible hand. I'm on the play. I can't keep this. I mean, look at those. That's just a little guy. No, cannot do it. I forgot that this was in the deck. Okay. This is not great either, but we can keep it. So, I can't Llanowar on 1, so it really makes me just want to remove it entirely. Like, it may make sense to just not take Llanowar here, because I can't play it on 1. This is something of a dead card against certain matchups. Like, obviously, that last game we played, they had no creatures whatever, so... We'll keep 6. We are weirdly going to tuck Llanowar Elves. We will play a Steam Vents tapped. Would love to have a 2-mana play. What could we draw? Badger Mole, I guess. Always a good draw. Okay, Undercity Sewers, so Temur for our opponent. Feels very bad for us. Thornspire Verge. Look at that. That's just a little guy. A little mole guy. You wouldn't hit a mole with glasses, would you? So, our opponent's got these Jace sleeves. I love Phyrexian Jace. It's my favorite version of Jace. Not the card, but the art. And... okay, being very careful. Deceit? Yeah, here we go. So what do they take? Do they take Overlord? Probably. So they are playing the Temur deck from Worlds, or not Worlds, but the Pro Tour, which is like Deceit and Superior Spider-Man and the Doomsday Excruciator. Yep, Overlord's the play. You got it. So I don't want to show them Botanical Sanctum because now they know all of the cards that they're playing against, but it's correct. Okay. Yeah, taking Overlord was correct, but they're just enormously advantaged against us. We'll play another land and attack for 3. We'll play another Noggle Robber. Robble, robble. Dragon is the play. Superior Spider-Man on Deceit? You would have had to have put it on human in order to get color from it. Greed's Gambit. Draws you cards. So much stuff. Draw 3 cards, gain 6 life, make 3 bats. Discard a card, lose 2 life. Sacrifice creature. Okay, we drew Mirrorform, but we don't have anything to do with it. Feels bad. I mean, we get in. Sure. So are they going to give us Greed's Gambit? Terminus of Return for our opponent. Discard a card, lose 2 life, sack a creature. Okay, so Overlord probably catches a removal spell here. So here's what we're going to do. I am actually going to attack with the Noggle Robber and see if I can get 3 in. And then we're going to cast Overlord Impended. Probably catches a counter spell. Go on. You got 5 cards in your hand. Okay. That's the end of our... okay. I actually thought I knew what our opponent was doing, and now I am not so sure. I mean, I think they're going to try to give us Greed's Gambit. That's the whole point of the card, right? So, I mean, if they tap out here, they lose. And they don't know that because I'm not presenting lethal, but I have 3 treasures. Okay. Greed's Gambit. Okay. Well, now they don't lose. Do they? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if they play Greed's Gambit here... when this leaves, discard 3 cards, lose 6 life, and sacrifice 3 creatures. Boomerang Basics is not great against Greed's Gambit. Ooh, is our opponent playing a very spicy deck? I feel like that was a bad move. Okay. Plague-Greed's Gambit. Gain 6. Man, they have 2 mana up. Boy, this is tough. So I really want to go for it, but I'm 100% not sure if that's right. Just not sure. Okay, we're going to play Unable to Scream on one of these bats. And then we're going to play our land for turn. And we're going to attack. Yep. That's it. They left the mana up. I'm like, I'm playing against a control deck here. Yeah. Sure. Okay. So it is Mirrorform or bust now. I'm gonna wait till my turn so that I have the mana to pay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I have enough to cast Ill-Timed Explosions first to see if they counter this. Is that right? Yep. Ill-Timed Explosions? I'm drawing out a counter. Didn't work? Okay. Pay 2 life. Quantum Riddler. Oh my gosh! I'm done. I'm done. They got me. They knew what I was doing. Game 4, Temur Mirrorform. We are drawing out all of the jankiest decks today to see what fun we can have. This is a fantastic starting hand. We're definitely keeping this. So that last game, I gotta tell you, I run into this problem so much where I feel strongly that I am being overcautious. There's a very real chance that I could have taken that game just by being more bold, by ripping the Mirrorform at the right time and drawing out the counter. I mean, our opponent played very well. Yep, Lightning Helix for our opponent. Alright, we'll get Botanical Sanctum down and warp Quantum Riddler. Fine by us. We do love to see a creature get in, no pump spell. Okay, we're gonna put Unable to Scream on that. Do you have a protection spell? Boy, I haven't seen this spell in a minute. Or I haven't seen this deck in a minute. Surveil for our opponent. Two damage. Being very cautious. Okay. Overlord? Hold on. Is that right? Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna try to remove the show off. If they've got the protection, they've got it. We can't just sit here. Oh, lovely. Excellent. Love this. Boros Charm. 4 damage to us. You got some more? Amazing. Easy. Easy win for our opponent. Game 5. Currently 2-2 with Temur Mirrorform. Thought we had a fantastic hand. Got absolutely dunked on by white-red aggro last round. This is fine. I can't say this isn't keepable. Black and Duress. Timeline color. Not what I was expecting. 2 damage for us. Everybody's at 18. Let's start the game at a lower life total. Now that is an interesting draw. Llanowar Elf on 1. Now they have to deal with that, or we're going to go a little faster than them. And being able to Noggle Robber on 2 is a very legitimate turn 2 play. They want to take the turn off to kill the Llanowar Elf. Nope. They're going to get in for 2. We'll take 2. Okay. Starting town for us. We're going to play this Noggle Robber. And I think we hold this other Llanowar Elf, because I think it's very likely we're going to wipe the board. Although, nope, we're gonna let it go, because we've got some fairly good plays here, and our opponent is very likely playing some form of aggro. So if they remove Noggle Robber, it gives us another treasure. Feed the Swarm. Gives us another treasure. Our opponent's being very aggressive. We'll go to 2. So here... I feel like playing a full 5-mana Overlord and using up our treasures is not how we win this game. Okay? So, let's play the Steam Vents. I'm just going to impend an Overlord of the Flood Pits. We're going to discard the other Overlord. I'm going to play the second Llanowar Elf. And we will say go. If we draw a land, we can Mirrorform the Overlord and attack for 15. I mean, they can feed the Swarm that if they want to. If you want to take 5 and to destroy that Overlord, I'm gonna be here for it. We will take 2. Board wipe. Stash Skeleton. Makes a Skelly. What else we got? Strategic Betrayal. So that means we don't get to have the fun. Okay. Really would love to have drawn some more cards here. Or some more lands is what I meant. So that's not the hasty one. Detect Intrusion doesn't allow me to stop enchantments. Overlord is still 2 turns away. Let's draw. Yep. I am not going to discard any cards. We're going to play that. We're going to play Leyline Weaver. And Llanowar. I didn't really want to use up my treasures. The whole point of this deck is to be able to use Mirrorform and turn treasures into something else. So if they have a boatload of removal, I am in trouble here. There's a very real chance that they just remove all of my creatures. They're sure looking at them. They all make mana. That's what they do. I'm very much very strongly feeling at this point that if only I could have drawn lands a little faster, I could have stolen this game. No blocks. You got it. Okay, destroying your own creature to draw 2 cards. Land. Now they've got removal. They didn't have it before. Okay. I don't understand that. You definitely kind of hurt yourself there for no reason. So, do I just win? I don't. I don't have enough things to just win here, unfortunately. So, we're going to tap these. For a full power Overlord of the Boilerbilges. We are also going to make that thing unable to scream. And we're going to hold. Oh, not great. Not great. Our opponent hasn't done great either, so... It's funny because it's still a suspected skeleton, so it doesn't trigger the thing. So making their skeleton unable to scream is a strange flavor loss. Yeah, I will lose one of my Llanowar elves. Timeline color comes back. Tragic trajectory of the Overlord. We will block the timeline color. This is going very poorly for us. Timeline color comes back and does you 2 damage and then goes away again. Timeline color comes back. Hanging on the edge of my seat here. I will take 0. I am going to counter that. Is that enough? Do you have 2? Land for our opponent. Okay, we can draw some cards now. They are at 7. I can steal the game. Alright, Mirrorform on Overlord of the Flood Pits. Now I have 3. Ooh! That was very tough. It doesn't matter. Game's over. Wow! Whoa, what a nail biter. Game 6, Temur Mirrorform, currently 3-2, which is perhaps the most miraculous thing that has happened to me all week. Okay. Llanowar into Noggle Robber is one of my favorite starts. I would rather that this was Overlord, but I'm okay with it. Hi there, friendly opponent. We'll start with a Botanical Sanctum and a Llanowar Elf. Give our opponent something to target with all those tasty removal spells. Boomerang Basics. Puts that back in our hand. We'll get down a starting town and play a Llanowar Elf, surprising no one. Third land for our opponent, Aang Swift Savior. Our opponent really doesn't want us to have an Aang. Okay, so it's starting town so that we play on track here. Overlord Impended. Our opponent is playing what looks like Esper Tempo, probably a Pixie build. What else you got? Momentum Breaker makes us discard a card. So what's it gonna be? Noggle Robber gets more stuff on board. I'm gonna toss an I actually don't want to show them the explosion. This is tough. I don't want to show them the explosion. You know what? They probably don't have a lot of creatures. Nurturing Pixie picks up Momentum Breaker. Okay. We're going to play the ill-timed explosions. We're going to discard Noggle Robber and a land. Let's get those out of here. We'll play a land for turn and get a Llanowar Elf down. This is going to be a very tough game of attrition here because they're just going to remove every creature that we put into play, which is going to make it very hard. You don't say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't love where we're at. Cosmogrand's going to make it very hard for us. Very hard for us. Okay. Not drawing action here is almost impossible for us to win, I think. Because now when they cast 2 spells, they're going to get just a boatload of counters, and I tossed away my other board because I didn't know what they were playing, and I tossed away a board wipe when I should have tossed away a Noggle. I feel very, very out of the game at this point. So I'm going to play a tap land, and I think we just go for it now. We're going to Mirrorform the Overlord and attack for 18. The truth is they take it. They take 18. And then they just put shields up. Maybe, yeah. I'm not surprised that they did that. Not surprised that they did that. Storm Chaser's Talent. Momentum Breaker. They make 4 creatures or 2 creatures and then a bunch of tokens, or with a bunch of counters. Yep. So I need to draw Overlord of the Boilerbilges right now. I can steal the game. Red Overlord off the top. Yeah. That's it. That's it. You got it. I misplayed the heck out of that. I had no idea what they were playing, and I really screwed that up. Alright, folks, this is it. Game 7, 3-3, the winning record on the line. Can my ridiculous janky deck pull out a winning record in this incredibly fast and very powerful format? Tune in at 11. We'll start with a Breeding Pool tapped. May RNG be in our favor. White and Authority of the Consuls for our opponent. So it could be the Artifact deck. We're going to play Badger Mole. And we will activate, and we'll put it on Breeding Pool. We'll gain them a life. Authority of the Consoles is usually the artifact deck. Okay. Okay. So we're not, like, out of this. But we have to be very attentive to what... Okay, so if they have the 3 mana, wipe all the 2 power... creatures, Leyline Weaver is a bad play. So I can get Overlord of the Flood Pits down here. So it's tough because I could do 2 things, or I could just do Overlord of the Flood Pits. I'm gonna play Overlord because they're not gonna be able to interact with that as easily. Not loving that. We're gonna toss a Leyline Weaver. We'll get our starting town, and we will attack for 2. We're just trying to, like, I do know the artifact deck because I used to play it a lot. So repurposing Bay for us makes our life very bad. Okay, that's okay. Alright, Willow Rush Verge. Okay, so I can play Noggle Robber, Leyline Weaver here, really incentivize them, but I need to draw more cards. I'm gonna play a full-powered Overlord of the Flood Pits. That gains them a life, but it gives them something really important to deal with. We'll toss a starting town, we'll get in for 2. So they got Repurposing Bay, which means they get to get whatever they want out of their deck right now. So they can get rid of our Badger Mole, but then they've got Overlord of the Flood Pits to deal with. If they miss a land drop, we might actually have a chance. But they can use Repurposing Bay, sacrifice the Cryogen Relic. Draw a card, and maybe it's a land. Here's Perilous Snare. Yep. Takes out the Overlord. Do they also have an answer for Badger Mole? That makes our life very bad. Yes. Yes, they do. Okay. Okay. Oh, they don't. Okay, so we have still not drawn our signature card, which makes our life very hard. So do I do it again? Like, do I play Quantum Riddler here? And give them another big target that they have to deal with? I think that's correct. They gain another life. We draw a card. Good grief. We'll get in for 2. This is not good enough. We need to be going faster. And Authority of the Consoles has slowed us down sufficiently. Synthesizer. Scry's 2. They've got enough to Repurposing Bay. Okay. We will play a land. The question is... Oh, good grief. Okay, we're gonna play a second Badger Mole. That's gonna gain a life, and I'm gonna activate this Willow Rush Verge. We're gonna attack for 6. That is good for 3. So 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to play around a counterspell, but it's not enough. So I think we can also play this Llanowar Elf. And then we're going to pass. So we've got enough to Mirrorform at this point. So if they board wipe, we're just dead. If they try to deal with our board individually... okay, so do they have a counterspell? Let's find out. Riddler? Flood Pits. Flood Pits. All the Flood Pits! All the Flood Pits! My lands come back. We got there! Mirrorform! Alright, friends and opponents, how did we do today? We squeaked out a 4-3 record with this incredibly janky deck. I shouldn't say it's incredibly janky, because it is playing with some of the most powerful cards in the format, but it is certainly not... it is not streamlined to fight this very, very powerful format right now. So, could it be made more efficient? I've seen a lot of different decks trying to capitalize on Mirrorform. There's lots of cool things that they could do. Obviously, I went in this direction because I wanted to work with the interaction with the Overlords, that you can impend these early and then kind of get them unimpended in this very sneaky, accidental way. Obviously, we're also playing Quantum Riddler, which by itself is just a very good card, but let's not forget that we are playing with Badger Mole Cub and Quantum Riddler and all of the Overlords, so we've got an enormous amount of powerful cards in the deck. It is very fun when it works, because it ends up feeling like we're on our back foot, and then we all of a sudden come out of nowhere and win, and that is a really rewarding feeling, certainly what I live for. So I'm not gonna suggest that this deck is in any way competitive, despite all of the very powerful cards. And again, like, as far as mythics go, here's 4, here's 2, here's 2, here's 4, here's 3, and here's 4. So don't craft this deck. If you've already got the cards, maybe take it for a spin, but all in all, this juice is not worth the squeeze, as they say. So, but again, I just wanted to play a fun, janky deck for the last deck in Lorwyn Standard, really just to showcase Mirrorform, because it is a remarkable card, and I'm really hoping that we get to see it do some even more very cool things sometime in the future as we get more sets. I can't wait to see what else Mirrorform is capable of. So before we wrap up for the day, if you're still watching at this point, you are just an excellent and admirable human being, truly the best of the best. I see you and I appreciate you. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, and remember, always take care of your head. Hey gang, thanks so much for tuning in. Click that subscribe button to support the channel, and check out our last video from Lorwyn Eclipsed Standard, where we brought the whole graveyard back to life with Sultai Reanimator.